Every year, cyclists and athletes around the world are invited to take part in the RBC GranFondo, a unique event that's the first of its kind, taking thousands of athletes from downtown Vancouver up the beautiful sea-to-sky highway to the ski town of Whistler. Traveling through the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Lil'wat nations. This year, 3 Olympic athletes will take on the GranFondo for their first time. RBC has been supporting sports and cycling for years through programs, initiatives, and events like this one. They're always pushing to make cycling accessible to all Canadians, and this event is a prime example of what RBC does for amateur and professional sports in Canada.
This morning, as I was riding to Stanley Park, the excitement you could see as we are approaching Stanley Park, it's unique. It's so special. So feeling of gratitude and pride to finally be back in person, to feel and connect with people. RBC wanted to be part of a large international scale event, and we wanted to bring the world to Vancouver and to see the sky, this beautiful highway that we have. We're really proud to have been there since inception. Our values of teamwork and collaboration and diversity, it's a very inclusive event. It's open to everyone and anyone. In terms of the pleasure to ride together as one group, one team, it's really close to RBC. This morning, you can feel this excitement from all the riders, and I wish everyone all the best and be safe on the road.
So we started off at 7 a.m. and
that was sort of surreal. It sort of brought my competitive juices back of the shotgun, the start, so many people around you. And truthfully, the energy was something I've never experienced before because I grew up doing an individual sport. Out of snowboarding, I've never done a group activity athletically.
I was actually going into this, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it. Because I was training for my sport, but not a lot for this biking event.
I'm shaky. We got this, guys. We're in it together.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get ready to go.
I grew up in Toronto. It all honestly started because of my family. My grandparents had a ski chalet in Ellicottville, New York. And then actually my mom was always a snowboarder, and I had 2 older siblings who were also snowboarding. So I saw them and I was like, I want to be as cool as them. And then my mom actually taught me when I was 4 or 5. So I've actually never taken a snowboard lesson. I always just was taught by my mom, which was really cool. I was doing a bunch of different sports, but I was always in love with snowboarding. And so, yeah, I joined the snowboard race team, and then that was sort of, it took off, and honestly, all is history.
Jennifer Hawkrick replacing the semi-finals. 2 Canadians through to the semi-finals. That's a fantastic result for Jenny Hawkrick. She'll be just rubbing her hands with delight. Jennifer Hawkrick goes through.
When the pandemic hit, our World Cup tour was cut short and we were sent home at the beginning of March. Really, obviously it was so uncertain. We didn't know how long this thing was gonna happen. But all gyms were shut down. So I was literally working out with 2 dumbbells in my condo and at my parents' house. So my mom had a road bike. I picked it up one day. We went for a ride, and then honestly, it sort of became my primary way of training that off season in the pandemic, because all gyms were shut down. I couldn't do my regular off season. And then it just sort of became like a hobby. Something like this was so nice to like work towards and sort of have a purpose with training.
Pretty amazing that like they'll shut down the road for this event, and especially cruising on the highway. Never had that before, so. Well, I started snowboarding when I was 4 years old, so we'll take it back to 1994. Snowboarding is still kind of like in its infancy, and my dad was the first snowboarder at our club, and I switched from ski racing from the age of 3 to snowboarding, and the only program they had was the snowboard racing program. Age of 10, I started doing like international events, and when I was 18-year-old, so just finished high school, I moved out to Calgary to join the snowboard development program, and then shortly after that, I was put on the national team.
Darren is also an ambassador for the RBC Olympians program, a program that supports athletes in the transition to life after sport, a bridge that many athletes have trouble crossing.
We were a pretty athletic family growing up, and I have 2 older brothers. And so as the runt of the litter, I tended to follow in my brother's footsteps. So they ended up going into, it was my eldest brother went into field hockey because he hated baseball. So he wanted to change sports. One of our family friends, suggested field hockey, and then my other brother followed suit, and I was shortly after.
There's some steep uphills, but there's also some steep downhills. And I think I hit probably like almost close to 80 kilometers an hour.
This is the summit?
This is the summit of the cookies, yeah. It's not cookies. Woo! It's worth it because we have cookies.
Yeah. Oh, coming up here? No, not.
So it's nuts. I almost didn't make it. No?
He's what?
I definitely hit a bit of a wall at 65 kilometers. I really wanted to pace myself, so I was feeling really good. Coming up to Squamish, I was like, this is good, this is gonna be an easy ride. I was like feeling so confident, and then truthfully, I didn't know how much of a grind it was for the next like 20, 30 kilometers.
The lowest point was after Alice Lake, which is like around Squamish, halfway point. It starts to incline quite a bit for a long time, and so I hit this big hill, and then you get a little bit of a down, and then it's another big hill, and then there's another big hill on top of that, so you're done, pretty gassed. And I was like, oh, this is the downhill bit, I'm gonna save my legs, but the headwind was just monstrous today, so it wasn't a break.
The wind was really bad today. That really made an extra challenge in the ride and made it a lot harder. Thankfully, there was a rest stop in about 5 kilometers from there, so I was able to stop, get more water, rehydrate, eat food. Primarily, my energy was just beginning to tank.
I've ditched my team so bad. They're so far behind right now. I feel really bad.
I think just being in a pack with like 6,500 athletes, like all working to kind of towards the same goal. Having everybody around, everyone was super friendly.
I grew up doing an individual sport, and even though cycling also is, at the same time being able to like lean off each other and draft with each other and work with each other, but also like the energy of we sort of got at the same time and we were all giving each other good jobs, high fives. So it was really, really cool.
It was when we got to Creekside that I was like, okay, we're close. I can smell the burgers on the grill, like taste the beer, like we're there.
And coming through that last little turn into the village, it's euphoric.
I honestly got butterflies. It was so surreal. I actually like almost cried, which is so crazy to say, but just like the line of people cheering, and you have like exerted yourself so much, and you're sort of, I was reaching the point where I was like, I'm ready to get off this bike, and I was starting to sort of, you know, go a little bit downhill, but as soon as you turn on, you hear the cheering from like 500 meters away. And it was just such a surreal feeling after, you know, challenging yourself and riding 120 kilometers. So I really had the butterflies, and I was able to pass the finish line with my friends, which was really special. We did it together, so it was a really special environment.
Yes! Oh! There's definitely some down moments, but a lot
lot of up. A lot of up. Hi.
Big cheer, okay?
We did it!
Thank you. This is the best finish for me. Usually the last 50 K, I'm just like, I was following you guys. Yeah, but it's before.
This was wild. I can't even explain it.
No, I definitely want to train more. I didn't train very much for this ride, and I think next year I want to give it actually a really good go and see what type of time I can produce.
It was a great experience, and I would definitely do it again. I would like to know, like, if I gave it kind of out of the gate, like where the time would be. But the GranFondo is an event. It's not a race. For me, it was more of an experience. Of course, you can race it if you want, but I went kind of for the experience event.
I think this whole experience for me has been really surreal, just because out of snowboarding, I've never done a group activity athletically, and so just to have 6,500 people together after 2 years of this event not happening, post-COVID, all of the challenges everyone went through, and for everyone to have the same goal and working towards it, and just the feeling of everyone around you trying to get to the top of the mountain together was really, really special after a tough couple years. So it was just really special in general.
My name is Lauren Friedman, and I'm an RBC Future Olympian in the sport of track cycling. Well, my past has always had sport in it. Basically, I've been playing sports my whole life, but volleyball was really where I wanted to pursue sports. I played for the Simon Fraser University volleyball team for about 5 years, and after that was done, I decided I wasn't quite ready to be done being an athlete, so I actually joined the SFU track team after that and threw javelin for about 5 months while I finished my degree. And during my javelin career, I ended up qualifying for the NCAA Division II Nationals. Honestly, I never imagined myself to be a cyclist. I had done a few sprint triathlons after I graduated from university, just because I didn't really know what to do with myself. I actually went and did an RBC training ground qualifier in May. I happened to be in Calgary when the qualifier was happening, and so I signed up the week before and went and did the tests and was invited to try track cycling. And through that, I went through the whole program and got invited to the RBC Training Ground National Final and was selected as one of the top 30. So now I'm an RBC Training Ground Future Olympian. I am a biomechanist for a wearable tech startup, and so I deal with biomechanics, and that plays very well into sport. So I have a sort of technical understanding of the way that the body is supposed to be functioning, and my job is essentially about optimizing the way that the body moves, and so I try to really bring that into my training and into the way that I look at the sport, and I'm trying to optimize myself. My nerd brain is kind of geeking out all the time, learning about the gear ratios and the training modalities and race strategies and all of that stuff. And it's just every time I hop on the bike, I'm learning something new, and I'm so enamored with the whole sport as a whole. So that's what I love most about cycling. So the RBC Training Ground is a talent identification program for athletes between the ages of 14 and 25 in Canada. And it's basically designed to help remove barriers to those athletes and help them pursue their Olympic dreams by showing off their strength, speed, power, and endurance capacities in front of national team coaches. And all of the testing is free and can be done virtually, and so it can be done from anywhere. 100 athletes are invited to the national final, of which the top 30 will be selected to receive funding for the sport and a spot on Team Canada. A program like RBC Training Ground is so important for developing young athletes because it provides opportunities. And in my opinion, opportunity leads to development. And it's no secret that there are barriers to sport and to pursuing sport. And so the RBC Training Ground program is helping remove some of those barriers by making it a little bit more accessible to get into these sports and to have the guidance and development so that they can pursue their Olympic dreams. Out in nature is probably my favorite place to be. So it's just like literally and figuratively a breath of fresh air when I get to be out there in the mountains or in the forests or even just on the roads, on quiet roads. It helps to really calm my own brain, and I get to just focus on being there in such beautiful environments and working on training, and that's my happy place. I am who I am because of sport, absolutely. And because of all the experiences that I've been able to have in sport, I've been able to develop, the softer skills of being a human. RBC Training Ground has benefited me as an athlete by giving me the opportunity to be an athlete again. After I graduated from university, I was a little bit lost. I didn't really know what to do with myself. I wasn't training for anything, and having been an athlete my whole life, that was really hard for me. So having the opportunity to pick up a new sport and take it as far as I possibly can is something that I was really craving in my life, and now I have that opportunity, and I really appreciate that.